Hello everyone. I hope you're having a peaceful day. Right before Christmas sales, someone copied our shop name, and rumors spread fast. James started gathering proof to keep it clean, and then a sudden accident took James out of the picture. If the copycat turns personal, can Miss Too Deep keep our peace and keep our gate shop standing? If you enjoy gentle stories with emotion and family strength, please like this video and subscribe. Today we'll follow one fruit shop called Hill Fruits and watch how a quiet plan gets tested when real life hits hard. I woke up before the sun, the way I always do when my heart feels unsure. The gate shop was still asleep, only the scent of ripe guava and oranges and the soft rustle of leaves above our small wooden sign, Hill Fruits. For a moment, I let myself remember the Christmas lights in town. James's hand warm on my shoulder, Nay laughing like the world had never hurt us. It felt like healing, plain, unannounced, the kind you notice only when it's finally there. Then I heard a sound that didn't belong to morning peace. A hammer. Have you ever felt your body react before your mind can name the problem? I stepped outside, apron still tied, and froze. Down the road, close enough to steal our customers, close enough to poison our name, someone was finishing a bright new sign. The letters were almost the same shape as ours. The color, the spacing, even the tiny leaf symbol at the corner. It read, Hill Fruits, the Gate Original. My stomach dropped so fast it felt like falling. Nye came behind me, rubbing sleepy eyes. Mama, why is our name over there? I couldn't answer right away, because it wasn't just a name. It was our work, our hope. Proof that I could rebuild my life with honest hands, one morning at a time. A customer approached our gate, an older woman I recognized from last week. She glanced between our baskets and the copied stand, confusion pinched across her face. Which one is real? She asked. My neighbor said she bought Hill Fruits yesterday, and the fruit was sour. What do you do when the first hit isn't a punch, but a story? You keep your voice soft without letting it shake. Auntie, I said, ours is the original gate shop. We've been here since the first day. The woman hesitated, eyes flicking to the new sign again. Confusion is dangerous in a small town. People don't always chase truth. They chase the easiest story. When the woman walked away toward the other stand, my hands went cold. I turned back to our baskets and suddenly felt small. Not because of money, because of shame. The old familiar shame that used to cling to me back when people judged me for things I didn't choose. Nye tugged my sleeve. Mama, did we do something wrong? I crouched and held those little hands. No, sweetheart, we didn't. Inside, fear whispered. They'll blame you anyway. If you've ever carried shame once, you know how quickly it tries to return. James arrived 10 minutes later. He stepped out of the car with a quiet look that saw everything without panic, then stood beside me and followed my gaze down the road. What happened? He asked. They copied us, I managed. Our name, our style, and people are already talking. He looked from the sign back to my face, like he could hear my breathing change. Okay, he said. Then we handle it cleanly. I let out a bitter little laugh. Cleanly? They're not playing clean. That's why we don't match their dirt, he said, and he took my hand like a promise. Have you noticed how calm becomes contagious when someone chooses it on purpose? He pulled out his phone and started taking photos. Our sign, our shop, our older posts online, the receipts taped inside the counter. He recorded a short video of the gate shop while the date showed clearly on the screen. "Nye," he said, "can you help today?" Nye's eyes widened. "Help how?" "By noticing details," he said. "You're very good at that." Nye stood taller, proud and serious. We walked toward the copied stand, staying on the public side of the road. A woman was arranging fruit quickly, like the scene had been practiced. Bright lipstick, a smile too sweet to be innocent. The woman looked up and smiled wider. "Oh, James, Ms. Diep," Ms. Lan said. "You're early." My skin prickled. They knew our names. James stayed polite. "Ms. Lan, right?" The smile flickered. "Yes, you've heard of me?" He nodded toward the sign. "You're using a name and design that belongs to our shop." Ms. Lan laughed softly. "Hill fruits? Fruit on a hill? Anyone can use words like that." He didn't raise his voice. He just pointed, calm as a ruler. Same leaf symbol, same lettering style, same gate original phrase we used in our first posts. "Coincidence," Ms. Lan said, shrugging. Nee tilted her head and whispered, loud enough, "But your bags look like ours." Ms. Lan's smile tightened. Children should stay quiet. Something hot rose in me. I stepped forward before I could stop myself. "She's not being noisy," I said, trembling but clear. "She's telling the truth." Ms. Lan's eyes hardened for half a second, then softened into that sweet mask again. "Truth is expensive, Ms. Diep," Ms. Lan said gently. "Some people can afford it, some people can't. What kind of person makes truth sound like something you buy?" James's jaw tightened just slightly. "Let's keep this professional," he said. "You'll receive a notice. If you continue, we'll report the imitation." "Report to who?" Ms. Lan smiled. "People don't like drama in a small town." "You created the drama," I whispered. Ms. Lan leaned closer, lowering the voice. "Then stop calling it hill fruits. Choose another name. Peace is easier that way." His voice turned colder, not loud, just firm. "We are not the ones who need to change." We walked away before my anger could spill into something I'd regret. Back at our gate, my breathing finally caught up with me. Quick recap, because it matters. A copycat sign appeared overnight. Customers got confused, and Ms. Lan tried to pressure us into surrender. James called Mr. Bin, the local liaison who handled small business disputes and neighborhood order. Mr. Bin arrived within an hour, serious and fair. James laid everything out. Older receipts, earlier online posts, supplier invoices, photos of our sign dated weeks ago. Mr. Bin compared the pages, then looked up. "This is imitation," he said plainly. "It's clear." Relief and fear mixed in my chest. Relief because someone believed us. Fear because belief doesn't always stop a person who enjoys control. Mr. Bin explained the process. Report, request removal or change, mediation if needed. "It may take time," he warned. "Why does time feel like another weapon when you're already the target?" "Because time is where rumors grow legs." James nodded once. "While we wait," he said, "we protect our customers from confusion." On the way back, he'd bought a small stamp, simple, clean. Hill Fruits, official gate shop. He tested it on a paper bag and held it up for me to see. "We'll stamp every bag," he said, "and we'll post one clear message. Original gate shop, official stamp. No insults, no fighting, just clarity." Noi clapped softly. "Like a secret mark?" And that little clap reminded me we weren't only defending a business, We were defending a place where a child could feel proud, not guilty for standing at a gate with fruit. Downshift for a breath. Proof and clarity aren't loud. They're steady. Late afternoon, as the sun lowered behind the hill, I was tying the stamped bags into neat stacks when my phone buzzed. Unknown number, I answered. A cool voice said one sentence, "Stop using that name, or your peace ends." Then the line went dead. When a threat arrives this quietly, where do you put your fear? My fingers went numb. James noticed right away. I handed him the phone. He listened, eyes narrowing, not with panic, but with the quiet alertness of someone who recognizes danger even when it's disguised. "I won't let anyone push you out of your life again," he said. "What if it's bigger than her?" I asked, because Ms. Lan's smile had felt practiced. "Then we get smarter," he said, not louder. Recap, just to keep our footing. We had proof, we had a process, and we had a stamp for customers, yet the pressure had turned personal. Christmas was close. In a small place, the days before a holiday are a window. People buy extra fruit, and they remember names. Our name mattered more than ever, and so did our calm. Every hour felt louder, because Christmas was getting closer. So we worked. We set stamped bags where customers could see. We posted our message. We kept our voices polite. We didn't trade insults with Ms. Lan. We offered the truth the same way we offered fruit, right in the open. Have you noticed how hard it is to stay gentle when you feel watched? I kept Nye close, and Nye helped by noticing details, just like James asked. Nye would press the stamp and whisper, "Official," like the word itself could protect us. Some customers asked, "Which one is real?" And I answered the same way every time. "We're the original gate shop." Some nodded and stayed. Some hesitated and walked away. I learned something painful. Confusion makes people suspicious of everyone, not just the liar. James stayed steady, moving between baskets, keeping calm, pointing gently to the stamp. No speeches, just the simple act of showing what was true right now, again and again. By midday, my shoulders had been tight for hours, and I could feel the old shame circling, waiting for me to crack. Then James stepped a few paces away, phone in hand, still calm. I kept working because customers were waiting and Nye was watching. And then James's face changed. No shouting, just a stillness that made my stomach drop all over again. He looked at me and said only this: James had been in an accident, and he had to go. How do you keep selling fruit when the person holding the plan is suddenly gone? For a moment, my hands kept moving like they didn't understand what my ears had heard. I looked at Nye. Nye looked at me. I didn't ask questions in front of Nye. I didn't let fear pour out into the air we were both breathing. I took one slow breath and did the only smart thing I knew how to do: keep it orderly. I told Nye, "Stay close." I finished the customer in front of me with the gentlest hands I could manage. Because panic spreads faster than rumors, and I wouldn't feed either one. When James left, the copied sign down the road seemed to glow louder, as if it had been waiting for me to be alone. What does a copycat do when the one gathering proof disappears for the day? I didn't know, but I knew what I could control. I pulled the folder Mr. Bin had seen and set it where I could reach it. I put the stamp beside it like a tool, not a decoration. I kept our posted message clear. I kept my voice steady. Customers asked quietly, "Is everything okay?" And I answered quietly, "We're okay. Thank you." No extra information, no new stories. Just the truth I could safely give. This is where people get it wrong. They think strength is a big speech. Sometimes strength is a calm sentence said while your heart is racing. As the afternoon wore on, Ms. Lan's words returned to me. Choose another name. Peace is easier that way. I felt that pressure for what it was, an invitation to erase myself. And then I heard James's line, firmer. We are not the ones who need to change. Somewhere between those two voices, I found my spine again. I looked at the stamped bags and realized the stamp wasn't only for customers, it was for me. It was a small, clean reminder that we were real, and we had proof to match. And in the middle of it, Nye squeezed my hand and asked, very small, Mama, are we going to lose our shop? How do you answer to child when you don't have guarantees? You answer with what you know is true. I crouched to Nye's level and kept my smile gentle. No, I whispered. We built this with love. Love doesn't disappear because someone copies a sign. As the sky darkened, I stamped one more bag, pressing the mark firmly like a promise. Across the road, the copied sign stood proud. Too proud. In my pocket, that anonymous threat felt heavier than a phone. And in my chest, the accident had left a hollow space where James's calm had been. I knew it now, with painful clarity. This wasn't only about fruit. With James gone for the moment, the whole problem changed shape. A copycat sign and a sour rumor had felt like something you could fix with documents and patience. But an accident, sudden, real, reminded me that plans are only as strong as the people holding them. What do you lean on when the calm person isn't beside you? I leaned on what James had already built. I kept repeating the same simple line to customers. I kept the stamp moving, bag after bag, because clarity doesn't work once. It works over and over. I kept the folder close because imitation and clear were not feelings. They were facts Mr. Bin had said out loud. And I watched the way Nye watched me. Every time I steadied my voice, Nye's shoulders loosened a little. Every time I let my eyes drift to that copied sign, Nye's grip tightened. So I learned to do something I'd never been good at. Keep my focus where it helps. On the gate, on the baskets, on the people in front of me who still wanted good fruit, not drama. Christmas was coming fast. In the holiday rush, one bad story can travel farther than one good sale. I couldn't control what Ms. Lan claimed. I couldn't control what that anonymous voice wanted, but I could control whether our shop stayed clean, whether our message stayed clear, and whether Nye saw me fold or stand. By closing time, my arms ached from stamping, but my breathing was steadier than it had been that morning. The fear was still there. It was just riding him back. It just wasn't driving. Before Christmas, our little gate shop finally felt like home, and then someone tried to copy it overnight. The sign said, Hill Fruits, the Gate Original, and confusion turned into a sour rumor fast. James refused to fight dirty. James gathered proof, brought Mr. Bin, and we heard the words we needed. This is imitation, it's clear. We stamped every bag, Hill Fruits, official gate shop, and posted one calm message so customers could tell what was real. Then a cold call warned, stop using that name, or your peace ends. And right after that, James was in an accident, leaving me to keep the gate open and Nye steady. Even shaken, we keep choosing clean steps. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I know what we built. Truth, patience, and love that won't surrender to a copied sign.